I'm gonna go ahead and fire us back up
I
into the stream
estimated
here.
incorrectly.
So I took us back live again.
Hi, peoples.
Then, how many people you feed here? Mm, mm.
Good food.
She says, "Oh well, oh sometimes we'll have, who knows, 30, 35 people. They come from all over to hunt for the Lord,
Mm.
but the Lord don't live around here." She giggles and starts laughing.
Mm.
This is the best cheese ever.
Tark is Lord of Waterdeep.
Tark, it's not good to lie to yourself or to other people.
You see old Nan, she just kind of, she pauses with what she's doing and she looks up, kind of like the old lady looking over her glasses at you. Like, really? Lord of Waterdeep, okay.
He's the lord of dummies.
Frog is the pimp king of Waterdeep.
And Krug is the lord of dummiers. Little thing, she's
Oh.
hilarious.
You guys
What do
see
you
that
know?
the two younger girls keep taking trays of food out through these double doors. They're
Do they
not
need
big
help?
trays, not big trays, but now when you say this, Nan looks over at you and says, "Now you leave the girls to do their work now."
Okay. And she'll just keep eating her cheese.
Are they attractive girls?
Um, they have a charisma of 10.
Actually, I'm sorry. That's the wrong character. Forget I asked. I was thinking of someone else. Okay.
A particular black tabaxi.
What?
You are not the only black tabaxi. Just
Black is like the superior cat color.
Oh, I love his tabaxi voice.
That's because you're perfect.
Well, that's beside the point. But
Oh, I'm right? Okay. Good to know.
do you know a man that isn't a pervert?
Yeah.
Really?
Chris says, "Hi, what's your name?" I couldn't help noticing from across the bar you had a charisma of 10.
wait. I can end this discussion right now. Jesus wasn't a perv.
No, I was gonna say anybody under 5 isn't a perv.
No, I was a perv at 3.
I said man. Every man is a
Oh,
perv. I
Their
didn't say every
intelligence
boy.
doesn't go up after that age anyway. What are you talking about?
Back to
I was a
the
man at 3.
back to the original. The original question: Are these, are they good looking? Are they attractive? And I've got to say that beauty is in the eye of the beholder, Tark. So I don't know. Are they attractive?
Beholder. What? Where?
That's Bob. He back at Trosko with Gazig. He good beholder robot.
Thing.
All right, Darren's back with us. Darren, you guys are sitting around the kitchen, laughing and talking, and Nan has told you that the blacksmith, the groom, the gardener, um, they are all in the main chamber of the hunting lodge. Um, everybody's just been kind of cutting up in here.
So I'll go out and check on everybody else while the others are eating.
All right, so you guys see Darren. He goes over and he opens these two huge, very intricately carved oak doors. And when he does, you can get a glimpse of the room beyond. And you've been hearing hunting lodge, hunting lodge, hunting lodge, and this is more like
A resort?
um, Bunny. You probably don't have your clean feed going, do you? You do. That was gross.
I
That
do.
Was, okay. Am I the
Oh,
only
I
one that
thought that
heard
was
that?
just one of them.
No, that was Sirenscape. It was one of
Oh.
them.
No, I meant like it was like literally one of them on the mic.
Uh,
So I didn't think anything of it.
yeah. Anyway, the doors open and he's been saying hunting lodge, but this is like a huge country manor. Uh, you see dark woods and velvet wallpaper, fancy furniture, a great big fireplace with flames roaring on the hearth, and 3 or 4 guys sitting around a table. Darren, you walk out, the 2 doors close behind you, the rest of them are still in the kitchen now. And you see the groom, the butler, and the gardener sitting here talking. And they stop and they look up, and they all kind of, you know, they recognize you. They takes a moment for it to sink in that you're, back here in the room. And the butler stands up, Breber, and he says, Master Grove, you have come at what might be an opportune moment. Opportune for us, anyway.
Yes, it seemed like something odd's going on. I saw the fog rolling in, so we took a back way in. We weren't sure what had been happening. The master in the city was worried about you.
All right, Breber gives you that look like he's just caught you doing something. The butler here, Breber. By the way, he's a dwarf, and he's the guy that kind of raised you, father figure, more than anybody. You spent your days growing up here, hunting parties coming and going, rich folks, nobles, merchants, people with money, coming and going all the time.
So he's Alfred to Darren's Bruce Wayne.
Yes, but he's Alfred, who takes care of the hunting lodge, which is, as I described, way more than a hunting lodge. And he says, well, I figured as much. You wouldn't have made it to the front door. Come and have a seat.
Wouldn't have made it. So we didn't get close enough to see what was actually going on out there.
As you come around the
Stroll over.
as you come around the corner of the table, you look over in the corner and you see a guy trussed up, hands and ankles tied behind his back. And he's got a hood pulled over his face, and he's obviously gagged because you hear him kind of whimpering and muttering around a gag. Right. And he's laying in the floor over in the corner. What's his charisma? Chris wants to know. Can't tell. He's got a bag on his face, so that might tell you something.
If you got to put a bag on their face, they're not pretty.
I've got to say, I've known some pretty women that were not very charismatic. So
They all feel the same in the dark, though, so it's fine. Ignore me, please continue.
J. Rob, sometimes I don't. I'm on. No, okay, what do I say now? Anyway. Okay, so as you start to forward to maybe shake Breber's hand, you kind of notice this guy trussed up over here in the corner, laying on the ground, muttering. Spoken like a virgin.
Nod my head in the direction. He responsible for all this.
Him? Shay, that we not be knowing. He's the only survivor, though. Come, sit down, and I'll tell you a story.
I'll take a seat. No, to do. I brought a couple friends with me just in case.
He said,
Fear Nan has him distracted in the kitchen now.
That a woman's got a way of doing that. And the dwarf says, he basically tells you that it was during a recent hunting trip, and the party that had went out consisted of about 8 or 9 people. They didn't return that night, and the next day they sent another group out to find them. And of that other group, the remaining people who have, they've come to enjoy a favor from the Phylan family and relax here at the, it's like big city people coming out to hunt. But some of them, able to handle a weapon. And the next day, the 12 of them rode out to find the missing party. And of that 12, that one in the corner, he tells you, is the only one that returned. And over the next, this was about 10 days ago. And over the next 4 or 5 days, he just became more and more withdrawn. And eventually, he wasn't in his right mind, and he kept trying to open the doors and open the windows and run outside. But outside, and now that you've come out of the kitchens and into the main room and you're looking out through the windows, you have no doubt that every now and then you see something fly past the window, something ethereal. And then as you're staring at the window as this flies past, a face materializes right in the window. And it's this gaunt, almost translucent face, and it's staring at you, and then it turns its head and it flies off. And then you see more and more fly past. And you can now see that it's just undead, and they are just encircling this manor home. But you would also know, growing up here, that there are wards that had been cast upon the house, and you've actually seen priests who have come to hunt and stay and relax, kind of use some of their powers to help the place out when they were here. And there's a weather vane on top of the house that kind of wards it against things just like this. And so as you're seeing this going on outside the window, he's telling you that guy's the only one that made it back. And he says over the course of the next 4 or 5 days, he kind of grew at first quiet and withdrawn. And then it's too many undead. It's a lot of undead, as Chris is asking over here. He tells you eventually he started trying to open the doors and the windows and go outside. And they would have to pull him back in, and they finally just trussed him up and threw him in the corner. And he was mumbling incoherently and screaming and hollering and demanding to be let go. And over the next couple of days, all they can do is, pull his gag down and try to get some food in his mouth while he's screaming the whole time. So in a nutshell, he kind of wraps it all up and tells you that's what's been happening. But they don't have a clue. He said, we disarmed him so he couldn't cut through his ropes or hurt himself or one of us.
Chris is asking it again.
Which one? The undead charisma? That's probably about an 18.
What? Wow.
They don't need a bag on their head,
I've been charmed.
and the lights stay on full blast.
As long as they're not sun lamps.
might bring out a couple more lights just to enhance their beauty.
Yeah, I mean, if their eyeballs are still in their sockets and they have most of their teeth, I don't see the problem here.
Fucking gorgeous.
So continue.
Yes, not all minds are able to cope with such a disaster. Did he mention what killed everybody? What happened to all the rest of the survivors before?
He did. They, apparently, the big merchant, he was about as white as he was tall, and he fell off his horse. His horse got spooked, and he fell, and as he landed, some stone broke free into a catacomb below. And he tells you that,
Told you it's cursed.
basically, they were out on this hunt. This merchant's horse got spooked, and he was a great big rotund guy. He falls from his horse and he strikes the ground so hard that what they thought were just field stones were actually flagstones of an old elven ruin. Roll a history check, Darren. And he tells you that there was a large hole in the ground, and they must have decided to investigate, and they were all killed down inside here because the second party that went out found this, where the last party disappeared from, went down into the catacombs, and they all fled for their lives. And there were 6 of them that actually made it out, and of those 6, he's the only one that made it back to the hunting lodge. So something pursued them back here. And putting 2 and 2 together, probably a bunch of undead.
Would I know enough about it to assume the undead would have a master somewhere?
I don't. I'll let you choose a different role for this. I'm going to give you a piece of information off your first roll. You know that there are elven ruins. There were moon elves that lived here in the Arctic forest thousands of years ago before the Sundering. And there are ruins here and there, but nothing really. I mean, they've all been explored. People have been through them. There's nothing to them. But from what he's describing, when this merchant fell on the ground, it broke some stones loose, and there were some catacombs below that had been exposed. Now, your question was what? That undead serve a master?
Some sort that there might be a necromancer or something. I personally think it would be better to go and head for this ruin. I'm just not sure Jaren would be able to make that jump.
So you give me a religion or a history check, either one.
They're equally bad.
Are they? No, you can't. Yeah, you can't. You can't make that jump, man. You can't make that connection.
Yes, well, we may need to head out into the fog and deal with their pursuers then.
He says, there was one more thing that was mighty peculiar. When we pulled Durgold over there down and trussed him up, we started taking all of his things off of him. He didn't seem to mind none of it. He was so out of his mind. But then we pulled his dagger. And when we pulled his dagger, he began to scream. Bill, it's not meant to sound that way. When we pulled his little dagger... He sure does have an affinity to it.
Can I see this dagger?
And he looks at you and he goes, Oh, you could see it. I wouldn't have touched it if I was you. And he points over to the mantle above the hearth, and you can see a box up there. He says, "Aye, we put all these stuff in a box. It's on the mantle."
I've acquired a few new tricks since last I left. I'll pull it off, set it on the table, open up the box, and then I'm gonna ritualistically cast Detect Magic.
Gazik says Gazik wants to convince the guards, the Lord's Alliance, to teach him to ride a griffin. Oh, he's talking. Okay. Now, you guys realize that Jethro is driving and texting us on the way to Atlanta right now.
Hashtag jealous
Yeah.
Why would you be jealous?
Add on to
of learning to ride a griffin. I'm jealous.
Wow.
Yeah, it's his stuff, Chris.
But we have free food.
Free food.
Nom.
Darren, what'd you just ask me a moment ago?
As I'm ritualistically casting Detect Magic on it, so I'll be busy doing that.
Okay, so you're going to go get the box off the mantle and look at the stuff in it that they took off of him. All right, you see a kind of an orange-looking uncut stone of some kind, shiny. Some coins, a couple of pieces of paper, got some writing on it, and there is in fact this dagger in here.
Does it seem to be like new, like it's had a lot of use? Or does it look like it's been old, buried in a tomb for a long period of time?
Are you looking at it, or are you going to pick it up and touch it? In other words, are you
I'm
going to
going
percept it,
to-
or are you going to investigate it?
I'm going to percept it. I don't want to touch it.
Okay, this dagger has a curved, serrated blade. The hilt is basically wrapped in leather, and there are a couple of small jewels that are inset in the leather wrappings themselves, like between where your fingers would go. But there is a large black opal in the hilt, or not black, but kind of a like a cloud. It looks almost like a cloud in the hilt in the end of the hilt. And there's some runes etched into the blade down the side.
It says, "We gonna die."
Yeah, I'm going to ritualistically cast Detect Magic.
Okay.
So I'll be busy doing that for the next 10 minutes.
All right, back to the kitchen.
Nom, 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 nom.
10 minutes are passing. You guys are just chowing down, huh?
Yes, quite literally stuff in our face. It sounds like.
Little Fang, what are you doing?
She's gonna play helper, and whenever she sees like Nan trying to get something, she'll run over there really fast and go get it for her, and then go back to her cheese.
Really?
What? Why do I feel so judged all of a sudden? I just want to be a good cat. Okay, I could go snooping, I guess. Same.
Nan's insight checking you.
She's gonna look at her like, what?
No, you see Nan, and she's watching you, and you're confusing to her. Not only are you an anomaly that has walked out, what is this cat person? She's never seen a tabaxi in her life.
Mm. Can I tell that that's what she's thinking? Can I roll insight to read her body language?
I don't know that insight is to read somebody's body language, but
Yeah, it says so.
Yeah, it
okay.
is.
Well, I meant you can read her. Yes, give me an insight check, and I'll tell you how it applies.
Yeah. Thanks. Thanks.
I can tell you what my body language is saying right now.
That's
Did you have gastrointestinal distress?
Little Fang. I mean, you can definitely tell that she's puzzled. She is just puzzled by you. So yes, you can read that in her.
Okay. She's like, what's wrong?
What's up, Doc?
Well, begging,
exactly.
begging the person's begging your pardon, ma'am, sir.
Ma'am?
Ma'am. I where do you come from?
Waterdeep?
And before Waterdeep, where did you come from?
My mom?
Okay.
Or you mean like my whole entire family line? Is that what you mean?
Ma'am, I've never seen one of your kind before.
Well, if it makes you feel better, Tabaxi tend to be really big travelers, and we tend to usually stick for ourselves in really small, tight clans. It's only more recently that we started to assimilate a bit more with the secular culture, you know? So some of us have strayed a bit from the cat god, and I'm pretty agnostic myself, so.
Yeah.
Did
She's
Tark
just
know there was a cat god?
she's a stray cat from the alley of Waterdeep.
We took
Yeah.
her in.
Can I scratch both of them?
You can. You can certainly try. My dear, I can
Right.
see you've got your hands full, and she looks over at the two half-orcs.
She's like, yeah. Let's see, Krug and then Tark.
Oh god, she's actually doing it.
Tark does spirit fingers at
I
Nan.
miss them both. I'm so sad. She just
That tickle. That tickles.
you're gonna have to go to sleep eventually.
Oh, thanks for scratching back, little Fang. It was itchy.
She's just gonna ignore him. She's gonna say, so tell me about this place. Is this a what kind of things do you guys hunt? This is a hunting lodge?
Hey, it's the hunting lodge. It's where Lord Fyland likes to bring his most esteemed and honored guests. And she kind of rolls her eyes as she says this.
Oh, like who?
Oh, that varies.
Excuse me.
That's, I mean, it could be a prince or a pauper for all I know. I just serve them up.
Oh.
And she says, "Here, give me a hand." And she just kind of takes you in and walks over and starts kneading some dough. And you guys start kneading dough together and doing all kinds of girly stuff.
What?
I need dough in my
I'm
mouth.
telling your wife that you said that.
Don't tell my wife I said that. No.
You called cooking girly stuff. Go to you
No,
and me.
actually, I enjoy cooking myself. Anyway, so she just kind of takes you under her wing.
Yourself?
Cooking myself, not cooking stealth.
No,
Feminist
yourself.
berserk
Yourself.
weapon says, "Feminists unite!
Hashtag triggered.
Unite!" Yeah, moving right along. I'm gonna start getting bad emails and stuff from people. So anyway, she says, "Come over here, dearie, and let me put you to work." So you guys start making the bread and stuff.
Nice.
Tark, Krog, you guys doing anything but eating?
fighting over any last piece of food.
Okay, you're chowing away. Darren, we're going to pop back out to you. You're looking this thing over. You cast Ritual Detect Magic. And, you know, this is a new trick to you. You didn't have this trick when you left here before. And you see that the dagger glows, as well as the club on Breber's hip. And the groom, Ego Frey, who is sitting kind of over. He's always a real quiet dude, and he carries like this mace with him all the time, and you can see that mace is glowing. But the dagger definitely puts off an aura of magic, and specifically the runes on the side of the blade and the stone in the end of the hilt all glow with this deep red crimson, almost like wine glow to them.
How about the guy all tied up? Does he seem to be under the effects of any magic?
No. Nothing coming from him.
Alright, I'll start casting Identify ritualistically on the dagger then.
Okay. Is that a 10-minute ritual as well?
11 minutes is 10 minutes plus the casting time.
Okay.
Pretty much 10.
I'd imagine 20 minutes has gone by now. You guys still chewing away on food. Little Fang, you're helping Nan here get things cooked up. And
Well, if it's been 20 minutes, we're probably about finished. And we
My-
probably have stuffed bellies.
My belly is swole.
Yes. Grog, full, can't move.
Nan looks over and she goes, well, I'd imagine not after eating all that you ate, boys. You'll find a water closet beyond the stairway.
Can't move. We'll have to roll.
She points towards the doors that Darren went through when she mentions the water closet. Just beyond the grand staircase there. If you make a mess, you clean it up yourself now, you hear.
Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys sitting here in the kitchen, or are you heading out?
Tark will get up and go to the other room.
Okay. You walk into the other room. You see Darren. He's over by the fireplace, kind of knelt down. He's got this box at his feet. And you can hear him mumbling, kind of running his hand over the top of it, doing some hand gestures, and he's casting some kind of hoodoo over there. And you see these other three guys sitting here, and you notice this dude trussed up over in the corner. And you can hear him.
Yes, the food was very good. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. The water closet. Clean up your mess now.
Tark furrows his eyebrow and just looks around, takes this scene in, and
I need to catch up on Discord over here.
uh,
I think you've missed too
Oh,
much.
there's the Puss in Boots. Cat eating corn on the cob. I'm sorry, J-Rob, go ahead.
Did Tark interrupt? Happy fun time.
You walk through the doors, and these guys all make a sudden movement to sit up. and reach for their weapons on their sides, and they're looking at the door, and you start talking to them, and they're just kind of waiting to see what you do next. And they look at Darren and they look at you.
Now, if they're pulling their weapons out, by God,
They're
Tark is doing
they're not pulling their weapons. They just put their hands down by their weapons. Tark, calm down. Everybody, stay calm.
Okay. Because you know me, bonus action.
Darren, tell him we're friends.
Darren's busy. He doesn't even hear you guys.
Why is man tied up?
And the dwarf stands up and looks at you and he says, "'Cause he's a bad man. So we trussed him up like a hog and tossed him in the corner."
Good reason.
What he do?
He wasn't a bad man when he first come here. He's Batman.
He's cursed.
He says, he tells you, he goes, he wasn't a bad man when he came here. He said, but he's went all nutty over the last couple of days. We don't know what the fuck's happened.
Okay.
And Tark just kind of makes his way over to Darren while staring at these three fucks. Because he's wondering if they're going to try to hogtie him.
Yeah, he probably
Tark might like
Let me get my fishnets on first.
it. I don't think he takes those off.
Hey, face returns. Thank you very much.
Mr. Peabody made my fishnets. Thank you very much. It was a gift.
Face returns says you kids be good. You be good now, kids. Darren, you are finishing up your ritual, and you've basically decided that although this dagger, I mean, it's a nice freaking dagger. I mean, you could hurt somebody with it bad, in a bad way. But it has got one hell of a dark curse on it as well.
Aw, it looks so much fun.
As a matter of fact, in identify, don't you have to handle the item? In an identify spell.
Yes.
I'm looking at you, Darren. You're
Yes,
grinning.
Ranges, touch. Learn its
Fuck.
properties and how to use them, whether it requires attunement, how many charges.
You
and
were
spells or
you were smart
You're
enough to
cursed.
know the range is touched. You were smart enough to know that that the dagger is cursed, and but beyond your ability to reason, you do not want to part with it.
I don't know. It's one of those daggers.
Well, I obviously need it. I mean, it goes so well with my wardrobe.
And as you're handling this dagger, the guy trussed up in the corner, his ranting around this gag and his moaning and his bitching and his screaming slowly starts to subside.
Darren, fix man.
I don't believe so yet. But let's say I really, really want to keep it, huh?
Yep, you're pretty much. Well, no, you're not. Let me clarify this. At this point, you know you really want to keep it, but you also know it's really fucking bad if you do. And there is something this dagger is tied to. That, I mean, this thing is the center of a lot that's going on right now.
Hurry up in there, Tart. I gotta go.
I fear he's in trouble from the area they visited, this catacomb or whatever. I'm gonna try to put the dagger back in the box and resist.
You're going to resist it and put the dagger back in the box.
I want to try. I know
You
it's
I
really-
want to try.
He sounds so sad.
I
right
want
now.
to try.
If that doesn't work, I have a whole nother plan to keep it in my possession.
I need you to hang on just a second. Where's my notes? Window creep. I never cleaned up my windows from the last battle. All right, what'd you ask me? You're trying to put it back?
I was like, if I know it's really bad for me,
I need you to
want-
roll a charisma save.
So I'm going to tuck the dagger into my belt, grab out a piece of cloth, wrap that stone up. I fear this stone is cursed, and that's what's been affecting him. I'm not sure how it works though.
So you wrap this dagger in this piece of cloth that you pull out
Oh
of
no
your
no, I'm just going to kind of nonchalantly tuck that into my belt.
Oh,
Like,
the
that
dagger?
doesn't really matter, and then I'm gonna wrap
Oh, okay.
up that stone based on how poorly I rolled. And then I'm gonna lie to everybody.
Yeah, you
and
saw
tell
the.
them
Yeah,
that
I
this
thought
was
that rolled in the tower. You saw that.
Yeah, I would assume it would have.
Oh yeah, you do not want to put this dagger down. You know that this dagger is the cause of these problems, but for right now, you just want to hang on to it. It feels good.
Surely there's a way I can solve these problems and keep the dagger. I am Darren Grove after all.
Oh shit.
So yeah, I'm gonna lie to everybody and tell them that it's the stone that's cursed. I've deduced this with my magic.
You know, I'm going to stop and remind you guys that you guys are really great role players, and there are so many opportunities to be given inspiration out to people that don't, you know. Darren, what was the roll
Okay,
for?
I'll give Darren an inspiration.
My deception is I'm lying and telling everybody.
Yes, absolutely. Berserk Elf. Again with the cheer biddies. Thank you very much. Thank you.
What up?
Yeah, I mean, it's raining on us. They are all good role players. Yes, they are all good role players. And I wasn't necessarily, trying to get somebody to give Darren a point of inspiration. It just reminded me to tell you guys that, you forget to do this.
Yeah.
There's
I
so many
know,
opportunities.
But that's because we don't like each other. But I'll give Darren some inspiration though.
Yeah, we
Fucking hate everybody here. God damn it.
especially the trees.
they all
Fuck
need
you
to
in the
die.
god, in the goddamn Lorax.
Kill them all.
Fuck you, Dr. Seuss.
All right, Darren, you got your inspiration point. So yeah, Darren's Tark. You're watching him, and he's been studying this stuff, and he slowly stands up and he looks over at the guy trussed up in the corner, and he looks back over his shoulder at everybody, and he just kind of slips this dagger into his belt. Okay, Darren, what are you gonna do?
He's gonna hold the stone, the other uncut stone there, up all wrapped up in the cloth. I fear he has been cursed by this. It must have something to do with those ruins. Perhaps we should check them out and see if we can destroy the curse.
Out of character, I'm curious. Are you using the fake stone of that you still had?
No, there was an uncut yellow gem in the box with the dagger.
Oh, okay. Okay. I must have missed that.
Let's see. Um, yeah, I don't think he. I don't know. Darren, did you try to hide the fact that you took the dagger?
No,
Matter of fact, you were talking about it. You said, "I think I better just
yeah,
keep
but
this." Yeah.
he's,
So yeah,
he's
you.
doing it nonchalantly. I'll just keep this, but we need to take care of this stone. And he's just tucking it in like the dagger doesn't really matter. But he's not hiding the fact that he took it.
All right. So what would you guys like to do?
Mm. Darren, we go kill something now.
Yes,
I want to go on a great hunt. I want to kill a dragon.
Yes, let's kill
Because we're going
dragon.
to eat the spiders.
Did you walk out in the great chamber?
I assume she finished cooking. Or
Everybody
she's
did?
still-
So you walk out, you get the same reaction from two of the three guys sitting here, but the other one just kind of looks at you and look of astonishment for a second. Then he just turns around and goes back about his business. So at least one of the three of these have probably seen a tabaxi before.
Do they go for their weapons or put their hands down toward their weapons?
No, it was the monster half-orc that came walking out of the kitchen that kind of surprised him, that scared the fuck out of him.
Just checking.
Tark just wants an excuse to hit someone.
Which monster half?
The
Me,
first one.
bitch. You're still in the kitchen. You
He's-
hadn't come out. You didn't say you had.
Yeah, he's a foot taller than you. Yeah, you hadn't said you come out yet.
I thought I did.
No.
I really did talk. I did.
Little Fang will wave at them and say, "Hi, nice to meet you."
In that case, Krog will join. He was feeling lonely in the kitchen anyway.
So Krog walks his 800-pound ass out the door. Finally gets out there.
Krog lost weight.
Oh yeah, he lost weight. That's right.
Do we need a permit to hunt around here?
just permission from the family.
Can we get
They all
permission?
would. I'm sure they would definitely allow it should we assist them in this.
Okay, let's go assist. Hurry, let's go.
To adventure.
You guys aren't even sure what you're assisting in yet.
I want
We're
to
gonna kill.
Trice. Do they
Kill
have
dragon.
that too?
Baby
I call
Tark.
dibs on thigh.
You call dibs on what?
The thigh. The thigh.
Oh, okay.
Little thing. Thigh person.
Krog will
I'm
take
also
a
a brains
breath.
person.
Wait, what?
She just waggles her eyebrows.
Now, do we want to go and clear out the undead outside or go check out these catacombs where they came from first?
Ooh, there's
If they follow
so.
nothing back there, so there might be more loot. They were likely protecting something.
Maybe we should clear them out outside and then work our way in. You know, just so they don't go and bother Nan.
True. They seem pretty safe in here, but you never know.
Yeah, you can never be too safe. You know, that kitchen has some pretty good stuff.
Well, they seem pretty focused on the building.
Listen.
Perhaps we should go back out that tunnel and then come on behind them.
Oh, you're so smart. Let's do that. Oh, and do they have any spare arrows? I need some more.
Yeah, there's arrows all over the place. This is a hunting lodge.
Ooh.
I mean, there
How
are
much
bundles of them. Bundles
Do
everywhere.
I pay?
Well, arrows have weight to them. So, you could probably pick up 2 bundles of arrows easily out of one of these barrels. I mean, they're all over the place.
Yeah, I'm under 100 of my maximum limit. So
By the way, this chamber that you're
Close to
sitting in
100.
is probably about 40 feet wide and maybe 70 feet long. And you can see, taxidermy mounts all over the place. Great big stone fireplace going up, 2 stories up above the, you can see a loft walkway around this central grand chamber. Probably bedrooms upstairs. But the most notable thing is when you're looking out the windows, that fog that you were seeing from outside, it is just as thick here, and you cannot see more than maybe 30 feet from the building. But in that distance, there are so many. What the hell's that? 10, 9,
my
32.
money.
That's your money?
Yeah, I'm just because I'm having. She took 4 quivers worth, so she put down 4 gold. So I'm trying to adjust my gold.
Well, the butler comes over and he says, if you be needing arrows, you don't need to pay for them. You can.
But are you sure?
I will not be talking about it no more. Just take them with you.
Thanks, mister.
Help us get out of here. We got
Little
plenty.
things. Oh,
Tark is gonna. You describe the room, and Tark's looking around at all these taxidermied heads, and he's gonna look at those 3 guys in the room and says,
Mm. Who does your mounts?
He says, well, we had our own taxidermist here for a while. But he's went away, so everything goes to Waterdeep now. You even see the full body mount standing in the corner of a 9-foot tall, green-skinned troll. It looks so lifelike.
"Does Tark know that it's not alive?"
Probably. None of this stuff has moved. You've been in the room now for 10 or 15 minutes. None of it's moved. It's just standing there motionless.
Okay.
I could see you going ape shit in here, but nah.
Croc's gonna poke stuffed troll.
I mean, you've been in a taxidermist shop before, Tark, so yeah. Krog's gonna poke the troll.
Yes.
Okay, you poke it and it kind of teeters back and forth for a second, just barely, just rocks back and forth.
Get dead.
Tark lets out a loud roar as it teeters back.
Croc jumps it when he does it. Turns around and gives Tark a dirty look.
So, what would you guys like to do?
Kill.
Trolls? No?
Sneak up behind them and go.
Anyway, back to what I was saying about outside.
Shit.
You guys have, you've all been able to look out the windows now and see these translucent, gaunt, terrifying faces looking through the windows at you. Berserk, I don't know what he wanted, what that was for that time, but he liked something.
Don't ask questions.
Don't ask questions. Thank you very much, Berserk, for the noises, for the noises, the noises. But
Littlefinger has a fan.
yes,
You're all my fans.
but you guys can see by looking out through the windows that I mean, there's hundreds of these things outside, hundreds, and they're just flying in circles around the home, occasionally stopping to peer with hatred into the windows at you.
You mad, bro?
Do we get a look at what they look like at all, other
You-
than just their?
You guys can all give me a history, religion, uh, history or
Nature?
religion or yeah, from
Survival.
yeah,
Survival.
survival. Survival will work. You fuckers are pathetic.
I can't remember all of them I was supposed to roll. Did I get everything?
Let's see. History.
You
Darren.
fuckers are
Darren,
pathetic.
Darren rolled a 6 for history. Survival, Littlefang, a 9. Littlefang, nature, a 2. Littlefang, history, a 5. And then Krog. Well, that's Krog's first roll. So believe it or not,
Krog knows.
that's the highest roll, and Krog got it his very first roll. Jeez, Marbanya, you tell him what you really. I think I did, Chris. I think I did. Krog, you look over and you're like, that looks like a really angry version of Leaf the bartender. Looks like hundreds of them. And it is terrifying. Terrifying. Terrifying.
You got angry ghost.
These would probably be. I don't know, with a roll like that, you've seen them. You know something about. You're like, is that a wraith?
Maybe Wraith. Yeah, definitely Wraith.
Tark looks over at Little.
Krog.
Tark looks over at Littlefang and says,
How he get so smart?
He didn't. It's luck.
Excuse me, I'm not drunk, I swear.
Yeah. Yeah, he's still stupid.
Wish I could say that.
Darren been tutoring Krog.
When did you forget how to speak? Did you get dumber?
Did
Tark
you
still-
get dumber?
Tark's still
take
a smart
offense to
one.
Yes, Tark still smart one. But Krog getting better.
You guys are golden, man. Absolutely golden. Okay, so what would you guys like to do?
Smash ghost.
"Shit my pants."
There's like a lot of ghosts. We may not want to be caught out in the fog with them.
Oh, let's go
I
find
was
the
thinking
Scooby
like
gang then.
undead. Basic undead there
Oh.
initially. I fear something may have cursed this area.
Let's get going then, but keep your voices down. Damn it.
Did you say curse?
Yes, we may need to find the source of this curse.
Krog been saying this place cursed since we got here.
It wasn't not that long ago, so it must have something to do with the ruins all those people just died in.
Well, let's get going.
Alright, we'll head back out the door to the secret tunnel. Actually, can I talk to them and figure out whereabouts these ruins were? The party
Yeah,
headed out.
no, they actually talked to Durgle before he ended up going mad, and they tied him up. And he said that it wasn't very far from the hunting lodge at all. That it was right after that first group must have left out that morning that did they discover it, but it's probably about an hour's walk from the lodge up the deepening trail.
That's not an ominous name.
What, the
Yeah,
deepening
we'll head
trail?
out the secret.
Oh no. Tark's back getting hives again.
What does that mean?
You remember the last time he thought he was cursed?
Oh, Gazik did his ritual. Gazik did his whole performance on him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was itching and whatnot. Believed that he had hives.
All right, so Darren, you're telling them that might not be a good idea to go out there, huh?
These things seem to be flying around. We don't have much sight. I see us getting surrounded very quickly. If it was just like a bunch of zombies, we could probably fuck them up.
Darren, you know this place better than I do. I'm gonna trust your opinion. You tell me who to kill, and I'll kill them. Or, I mean, if these undead things can be considered them's still, but you know what I mean.
Well, if there's something cursing it from the ruin, we just kill them. There may not be an end to them. Like more might just come.
Fine. I'll do my best to not kill it.
By the way, I'm sharing the more relevant Discord gifts with the stream tonight.
I've seen that. Yeah, it's made me remember to look over and look at Discord. You guys talk about what you want to do real quick. I'm going to take a bio. I'll be back just as soon as, yeah. You guys talk about what you want to do.
Marbanya feel.
I think I need a drink.
I need Gazik.
Well, you guys want to take 5? Let's do 5. Let's make it a quick break.
Bye. I'm gonna put the trash bins outside then.
Yeah, I got to do the same thing.
I'll keep you all in my thoughts and dreams over this next 5 minutes.